Let's have a look at tax when it comes to earnings. It's a part of our financial maths. Marta works for this company. Marta gross annual income is X. So normally we are told what is the gross income, but here they are telling us, well, it is some money. Where X belong to R and is a constant. So we get that it's a number. She pays tax at a rate of 20% on the first 40 then she earns. Now, the problem with financial maths for majority of the students is vocabulary because you're not really dealing with this vocabulary. So let's break it down. Gross. When we are saying gross in financial maths, we mean that this value inside have the net value and tax. So that's what gross is. It has those two values. Gross is with tax, including tax. That's what it means. Annual, that means yearly, isn't it? So her yearly income, what she earns, that's what it is. Now, let's break down the next part. So she pays tax at a rate of 20 on the first 40 that she earns. So she earns, that's her gross income. So out of this income, we pick the first 40,000 and that is taxed at 20%. Now, the rest of her income will be taxed, and that's what they are saying, and at a rate of 40 on the balance. So whatever is remaining here, that will be at 40%. So that is at 20, and whatever is remaining here, we're going to get at 40. So how will I calculate that? Well, if I knew this value, let's say it's 100,000, then from 100,000, I take away 40,000 and I am left with 60, isn't it? So here from gross wage, we will take away the 40,000 and that will be what will be remaining here and we multiply by 40%. Okay, then we are told that she has annual tax credit of 3,550. So what is tax credit? So when I calculate the tax, I am not paying those tax yet. From that, we take away tax credit. And the difference between the two, that will be the tax to pay. So that's what it means. Taking the tax credit into account, Marta pays 1/4 of her gross annual income in tax. And therefore, we have to find the value of X. So that is the most difficult thing to understand. But I'm saying, okay. So what do I know here? Let's break it down. So I know that 40,000 will be multiplied by 20% or 0.2, isn't it? So that will be one part of the tax. Then the other part of the tax together, that will be the tax. But from there, we will take away tax credit, isn't it? And then she will have tax to pay. And then we are told that about her paying, she pays 1/6 of her gross annual income. What's her gross annual income? X. So it is 1/6 of X is her tax to pay. So that's my tax to pay here. So again, let's go. So the first 40,000 at 20%, that will be that. And then the next part, gross minus 40, what's her gross? X. X minus 40,000, and that multiply by 40%. So that's one tax plus the other tax minus the tax credit. Her tax credit is minus 3,550, and that will give her tax to pay. And the tax to pay, we understand, is 1/6 of her gross income. So 1/6 of multiply gross income is X. So there it is. We've created an equation with X. Now we can solve it. So that's the most difficult part, is to translate the words into an equation. because now that we have equation, we can solve that. How do we solve that? Where are we going? X on its own, numbers on the other side. So we have x here, then we have x here. This x is inside the bracket that is multiplied by 0.4. So first thing, I need to multiply that bracket. So the first value doesn't change. Oh, we can put it in the calculator and get a number, however you want to do it. And then 0.4 multiplied by x, so 0.4 multiplied by x, 0.4 multiplied by minus 40,000, so minus 40,000 multiplied by 0.4, and then just copy my next number, minus 3350 equal, and copy what I have at the end. Okay, so where am I going? X is here, x is here. I want them on the same side of the equation, so this x have to move and join the other x. So this side, like I'm saying, I can put them all in the calculator, I can get the value or not, depending how you want to work that. And then minus 3550 equal this side of the equation. I have 1 over 6x, and now I'm moving my plus, therefore it become minus. So I'm saying, okay, together, how much of x's do I have here? What am I going to have? I put that in the calculator, 1 over 6 minus 1 over 4. I'm going to have a number here, 1 over 6 minus 1 over 4. That will be the number that will stand beside, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That will be the number that will stand beside x, isn't it? Now, look at that. I just want to show you that you can actually move all the values without touching calculator. That's the reason why I'm showing you that. That's the reason why I don't do that. So that's the number that will stand beside x. I want x, not x multiplied by a number. So if I want to eliminate that number, which is a multiplication, I divide, and I divide both sides of the equation, isn't it? So that way, I have eliminated all numbers. They are all on this side of the equation, and I have x on its own. Once I put that in my calculator and press equal, I will find that this number is 49,500, and that my x on the other side, which was representing her gross salary. So that's what she earns. Yeah, but like I'm saying, the most difficult part here is not the calculation, it's actually creating that first calculation that comes from understanding the story, understanding the sentences that we change into maths, and that is difficult.